Azure Latch just dropped quite possibly the worst update I've ever seen come from this game. In the most recent update, we got two main things: new game modes and style coins. Now, I care much more about style coins, so I'll be talking about that first. To begin, I just want to say that style coins are awful. For those of you who don't know, style coins is the new currency that you will be able to use to spin for styles. That's right, instead of using the cash that you already own, you now have to use a completely separate currency to spin for styles. Now, this was apparently in response to cash in-game being inflated, and by adding this, it'll bring along quote-unquote better balance, longevity, and diversity to the game, and how it's for the long-term health and improvement of Azure Latch. Now, my first issue comes from the fact of how unneeded this was. Literally no one asked for this. Not a single soul. Everyone was okay with using their cash to spin for the new style that comes out every update. Was this system the best? No, not really, since it was still a gacha system. But it was still better than most, and that was fine. Now, because it's fairly hard to get cash from just playing the game, most people got their cash through codes that the devs gave out on update days, that of which were very generous when it came to cash, thus causing it to be the most common way for players to save up money. And the easiest way to counter the inflation caused by this would be to simply add more ways for players to spend their currency via cosmetics, such as MVPs, emotes, hell, maybe even style skins. This would be the most simple and, in my opinion, best solution to the issue of inflation. But adding a whole new currency is not the solution in any sort of way. For starters, the conversion rate is absolutely god-awful. Before this update, $100,000 in-game cash would get you 400 spins, which to be fair is a decent amount of spins. But because you're no longer able to use normal cash to buy spins, you're basically forced to convert it into style coins if you want to spin for new styles. And for every $25, you get one style coin, which means if you convert $100,000 to style coins, you'd only get $4,000. And you want to know how many spins that gets you? 16. Yup, that's right. Only 16 spins. Now, if you ever try to spin for a style in this game, you know how long it could take for you to get a new style, especially if it's on the higher end of rarities. So having what could have gotten you 400 spins to get the new style be dwindled down to only 16 spins is just terrible. Now, they say that you'll gain both cash and style coins hand in hand in matches, but that doesn't matter. A good portion of players will more than likely convert their cash into style coins, as more people would rather have a new style than a cosmetic item like an emote or title. As well as this new currency just completely guts normal cash of its value. Unless you have every style in the game, normal cash means nothing aside from being another way to get more style coins. Now, to be fair, the inflation in this game has gone so bad to the point that it's hard to see people without every style in the game. But that doesn't mean there aren't people who don't have them all. As well as there are still people who want to save up for future styles. This new currency just slows down and even punishes the progression of players who happen to save up all their cash for a style, as now they're forced to turn it on to style coins, that of which won't even give them the same amount of spins that they would have had before this update. Overall, I can understand the idea of it, but not only was this just not needed, it was also poorly done and terribly executed. Now, the second major thing they added this update were game modes. Now, they only added 2 new game modes, but to be honest, they're fairly fun. The 2 new game modes are Randomizer and Fast CD. For Randomizer, your entire kit is randomized, from your ult all the way to your T special. And for Faster CD, it's pretty self-explanatory. All your moves have a faster cooldown. Now, out of the 2 of them, my favorite is Randomizer due to how fucked it can make you. It can either give you god tier moves, or it can give you the most handicapped moveset ever. My only issue is how it feels like the moves I get are limited in a sense. It feels like my moves are only chosen from the most recent styles I've played, and there was a plethora amount of bugs that I encountered while playing, with one being the wrong name for a move showing up, to awk moves being able to be used repeatedly. But aside from that, the game mode is still pretty fun. Now, for Faster CD, it's still fun, but not as fun as Randomizer. It's basically if you could use some dollar store version of no cooldown in a public server, but despite that, it's still fun. But if you use Kunigami in that game mode, just know there's a warm place in hell for you. Now, one last thing I wanted to talk about was Don Lorenzo's new voice lines, because oh my god, are they awful. Now, for those of you who don't know, Don Lorenzo's voice lines had to be replaced as the owner of them didn't like how Boss Studio was running the game, and so they took them back essentially. Because of this, Don Lorenzo got a new V8 this update, and let's just say they're not very good. Anyways, that's all I really had to say for this update. I just thought that the new currency they added was terrible. It just shows how out of tune Boss Studio is with the community. I mentioned all the way back in my side vid how that update was the start of a downhill spiral for this game, and I think we're now starting to really notice. Here's to hoping that the rail update will be good. Anyways, that's it for me. See ya.